So there was a TPUSA event, TPUSA conference, Turning Points USA, I think it is. That's Charlie Kirk's group. It's supposed to be like a youth conservative group. And there's a porn star who was invited as a VIP. Her name is Brandi Love. The reason why she was invited as a VIP is because she's a hardcore Trump supporter and a big-time conservative. But that apparently led to a split on the right. In the same way that the left is sort of at each other's throats all the time, the right's dipping their toe in the water as well. Newsweek says, Brandi Love calls Turning Point USA a religious cult after porn star is banned from event. So this is something. So I read a number of articles on this. The details are actually a little fuzzy because I've seen a few contradictory accounts, but the gist of it is this. She was invited as a VIP to this event. I don't know if she was uninvited, like, immediately, or if... I know she went, but I don't know if she had already been uninvited and then she went anyway, or if she was invited, she went, and then while she was at the event, she listened to a couple speeches, and then she was basically kicked out. So we know she actually went to the event. We know she was kicked out. But the thing that I'm still unsure on is she may have been invited as a VIP, the scandal blew up online before the conference, and then they uninvited her, and she went anyway. So again, she saw a number of the speakers, and then she was kicked out. And she was saying on social media something to the effect of, I just listened to all these people talk about how, you know, the right is now an inclusive movement, and where we have a big tent, and we believe in freedom and all this stuff. And then she's like, well, if you're inclusive, why am I being dragged here? Why am I kicked out? Why am I looked down upon? If you believe in freedom, then don't I have the freedom to do what I want to do? And the problem is, and this is the breakdown. So you have conservatives who are, you know, just sort of economically conservative, and they fight the culture war in the sense that they just want to trigger the libs, those type of conservatives. But then there's the religious conservatives. And the religious conservatives are the ones who sort of feigned offense at this and said, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is disgusting. Is this what the conservative movement is supposed to stand for? Porn and filth? And one of the things, they made such a slimy point that I hated. One of the things that TPUSA said when defending, basically kicking her out, is like, hey, this is a youth event. And we're not going to have a porn star here for a youth event because that's just disrespectful to the parents of the families, and 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds shouldn't be exposed to that, so on and so forth. But again, she wasn't speaking there. She wasn't performing there. She was just invited as a VIP to watch the event. So to kick her out when she's just invited as a VIP, what are you saying? These other people can't even be in the presence or the same room as somebody who worked in that industry? Does that seem like a fair standard? Does that seem like a reasonable thing? That she's now just banished from conservative areas, full stop? Well, again, if the fundamentalist Christians have their way, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Just kick her out. Don't want her part of the group. Don't want her part of the club. I don't care what she believes on the actual policy stuff, in which they probably would agree with her. We don't care. We think it's sinful. That's basically the argument. We think it's immoral, unethical, and it's sinful. And it says a lot about these people. That a lot of these people are pro-war, for example, pro-torture at Abu Ghraib and Gitmo, pro-spying on everybody. So that stuff is not immoral or unethical. But, doing something voluntarily as an adult, that's an adult action. That's unethical and immoral. And it says a lot about them. It really does. And, I guess at some point, this battle within the right had to rear its ugly head. Because, yeah, there's a loose coalition that's slapped together simply by their hatred of the left. But if they ever started focusing on areas where they disagree, believe me, their areas are a lot deeper. Their areas of disagreement are a lot deeper than those on the left. The left, we tend to, overhype our disagreements a lot. You know what I mean? And obviously, corporate Democrats are corrupt, so I'm not even including them in the left conversation. But, we actually have small differences that we make a big deal. They have big differences that generally they keep small and pretend like they're small. But this is huge. So basically, if you're involved in something, as an adult, using your free will and your choice, if you're involved in something that they don't like, they'll just banish you from even being in the same room as them. So I think that says a lot about the kinds of people that we're dealing with there. And the funny thing is, and this is where TPUSA probably messed up, they don't understand that that wing of the right is a dying breed. The fundamentalist Christian conservatives, dying breed for sure. And so I think they backed the wrong horse, because I think a lot of people on the right now, especially the younger people, they view the fundamentalist Christians as like a burden and shrill and annoying and overly finger waggy, By the way, let's be serious here. What would I call this? I'd call this cancel culture. She was canceled. She was censored for just being who she is. It's just yet another example. These guys pretend like they're not in favor of cancel culture. Of course they're in fucking favor of cancel culture. Are you kidding me? The right loves cancel culture when they get to decide who's canceled. Lil Nas X with the Satan shoe. They flipped out over that and literally said, let's cancel him. People who based their whole identity on being anti-cancel culture were pro-cancel culture in that instance. I forget the name of the person who looked away from the flag, but they wanted to kick her off the Olympic team. That's cancel culture. This is cancel culture. So they don't stand for anything, and there's a great example of it here. And in the long run, the anti-porn side of the right is going to win, because that really is a mentality that's going away and going away fast, because everybody knows, like, who's naive enough to think that the people who are pretending to be anti-porn haven't watched porn in their lives and don't enjoy it? It's just, you're a hypocrite beyond hypocrisy, because everybody knows that you're not actually offended by this, and you probably partake. So it just reeks of silliness and unseriousness, and they're not going to win in the long run. And perhaps Charlie Kirk and TPUSA should realize that. That's that old school relic, that Pat Robertson, John Hagee type thinking. And there's a reason why those guys they've lost a lot of steam. It's no longer 1980.